What if I told you there's a manager who's won more games than any other skipper over the past decade, led his team to 5 World Series appearances, captured 3 championships, and consistently maximized rosters worth over $300 million, yet somehow still gets called overrated by his own fan base? Dave Roberts has done something that should be impossible in modern baseball. He's taken a franchise with the highest payroll in the sport and actually delivered results that match the investment. Roberts has turned the Dodgers into a machine that churns out division titles like it's a business model. But here's what nobody wants to admit. The same steal that made him famous as a player, that legendary swipe of second base in 2004 that broke the curse of the Bambino, perfectly encapsulates what makes him brilliant as a manager. It wasn't just about speed. It was about reading the situation, understanding the moment, and executing under the most intense pressure imaginable. So why does Dave Roberts continue to be baseball's most underrated manager? And how has he built a dynasty that everyone sees but nobody wants to give him credit for? I've been covering baseball management and organizational success for years, and I'm here to tell you something that's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Dave Roberts isn't just a good manager, he's a great one. And the fact that we're still having debates about his effectiveness 11 years into one of the most successful runs in modern baseball history tells you everything you need to know about how we evaluate managerial performance. The numbers don't lie. Since taking over the Dodgers in 2016, Roberts has compiled a .621 winning percentage over 10 seasons. That's not just good, that's historically elite. He's won 10 straight division titles, reached 5 World Series, and captured 3 championships including back-to-back titles in 2024 and 2025. His teams have won over 100 games 6 times in 10 seasons. But here's what separates Roberts from other managers with great records. He's done it while managing the most complex roster construction in baseball. Massive contracts, superstar egos, organizational expectations that would crush most people, and a fan base that expects perfection every single October. Yet somehow, the narrative around Dave Roberts remains the same. He's just a player's manager who gets carried by talent. He makes questionable decisions in big moments. He's not strategic enough for the modern game. It's time to destroy these myths and show you why Dave Roberts is actually a masterclass in modern baseball management. Let's start with the biggest lie about Dave Roberts, that he's not a strategic thinker. This narrative exists because people confuse his calm demeanor and player-friendly approach with a lack of tactical sophistication. But if you actually study how he manages games, you'll discover one of the most analytically advanced minds in baseball. Roberts doesn't just use analytics, he weaponizes them. While other managers get paralyzed by information overload, Roberts synthesizes complex data into split-second decisions that consistently give his team advantages. His bullpen management alone is a masterclass in leveraging matchup data, rest patterns, and situational tendencies. Look at his challenge success rate over his career, 52.7%. That might not sound impressive until you realize that means he's successfully overturning calls at a rate higher than random chance. He's not just throwing the red flag hoping for the best. He's making calculated decisions based on what he sees and what his analytics team is telling him through his earpiece. But here's where Roberts separates himself from other analytically driven managers. He doesn't let the data override his instincts about human performance. He knows when a pitcher is tired before the numbers say he should be. He recognizes when a hitter is seeing the ball, well, even if their recent stats don't reflect it. He combines cutting-edge analytics with old-school baseball intuition in ways that most managers can't. The perfect example of this came during the 2020 World Series against Tampa Bay. Game 6, bottom of the 8th inning, Dodgers leading 3-1, but Tampa Bay threatening with runners on base. Conventional wisdom and the analytics both said to stick with Julio Urias, who had been dominant. But Roberts saw something in Urias's body language that the numbers couldn't capture. He was losing his command, missing his spots by inches. So Roberts made a move that looked questionable in the moment, bringing in Blake Treinen in a high-leverage situation where the matchups didn't favor him on paper. The result? Treinen got out of the jam, the Dodgers closed out the game, and they captured their first championship in 32 years. This is what great managers do. They use information as a tool, not a crutch. They make decisions based on what they see happening in real time, not just what happened in previous similar situations. Roberts has mastered this balance better than any manager in baseball. His strategic brilliance extends beyond just in-game decisions. Look at how he's managed player development and roster construction input over his tenure. He's helped turn prospects like Julio Urias, Walker Buehler, and Will Smith into stars by putting them in positions to succeed gradually rather than throwing them into the fire. He's maximized aging veterans like Justin Turner and Chris Taylor by understanding their limitations and using them in spots where their skills still play. He's gotten career years out of players like Max Muncy by recognizing their potential before other organizations did. This isn't luck. This isn't just having good players. This is a manager who understands how to optimize human performance at the highest level of competition. And somehow, he makes it look so effortless that people assume anyone could do it. Here's what most people don't understand about managing the Los Angeles Dodgers. It's not just about winning games. It's about winning games while carrying the expectations of an entire city, a $300 million payroll, and ownership that demands championships, not just playoff appearances. The pressure that comes with managing the Dodgers would break most people. Every decision gets scrutinized by millions of fans. Every loss gets dissected by talk radio hosts and social media experts. Every playoff exit gets treated like an organizational failure that requires heads to roll. Dave Roberts has not only survived in this environment, he's thrived in it. And the way he's done it reveals a level of mental toughness and leadership ability that gets completely overlooked in discussions about his managerial skills. Look at how he handled the 2017 World Series loss to Houston. His team had just blown a 3-2 series lead, losing games 6 and 7 at home. The media was calling for his head. Fans were questioning every move he made. The organization was devastated after coming so close to ending their championship drought. A lesser manager would have crumbled under that pressure. Roberts used it as fuel. He spent the entire offseason analyzing what went wrong, adjusting his approach, and preparing his team for another run. The result? Another World Series appearance in 2018, a championship in 2020, and back-to-back titles in 2024 and 2025. But it's not just about bouncing back from failure. It's about how Roberts manages the day-to-day pressure of expectations. Watch him during games, especially in high-leverage situations. While other managers are pacing the dugout or showing visible stress, Roberts maintains the same calm demeanor whether his team is up by 10 runs or down by 1 in the 9th inning. This composure isn't just for show, it's strategic. Players feed off their manager's energy. If Roberts is panicking, his players will panic. If he's confident and composed, that confidence spreads throughout the clubhouse. He's created a culture where players can perform at their best because they're not worried about their manager's emotional state affecting their performance. The most impressive example of this came during the 2024 postseason run. The Dodgers were facing elimination in the NLCS against the Phillies, down 3-2 in the series. The pressure was unlike anything they had experienced since 2020. Roberts navigated those final 2 games with the same steady leadership that had defined his tenure. He made bold decisions when necessary, stuck with his players when they struggled, and never let the magnitude of the moment overwhelm his team's preparation and execution. When they won that series and went on to capture another championship, Roberts' reaction was telling. No wild celebration, no emotional breakdown, just quiet satisfaction and immediate focus on what came next. That's the mentality of someone who understands that sustained excellence requires treating each achievement as a stepping stone rather than a destination. Managing a roster worth over $300 million sounds like a luxury problem until you actually have to do it. Every player makes enough money to be a star on most other teams. Everyone has an ego. Everyone expects playing time. Everyone thinks they should be hitting in a more favorable spot in the lineup. Dave Roberts has turned this potential nightmare into a competitive advantage through roster management that borders on genius. He's figured out how to keep superstars happy while maximizing the team's overall performance, and he's done it consistently for 10 years. The key to Roberts' success with roster management is his understanding that different players require different approaches. Mookie Betts needs to feel like the leader he is, so Roberts gives him consistent playing time and batting order placement. Freddie Freeman needs to feel comfortable and relaxed, so Roberts creates an environment where Freeman can be himself without pressure to be someone else's version of a superstar. But it's not just about managing stars. It's about managing the entire ecosystem of a major league roster. Roberts has mastered the art of keeping bench players engaged and ready while ensuring his regulars stay sharp. He's found ways to get meaningful at-bats for players like Chris Taylor and Kike Hernandez, even when they're not everyday starters. This roster juggling becomes most impressive during the postseason when every decision gets magnified and there's no margin for error. Roberts has consistently made moves that look questionable in the moment but prove brilliant in hindsight. Take his handling of the starting rotation during playoff runs. While other managers stick rigidly to their established rotation, Roberts has shown the flexibility to adjust based on matchups, rest patterns, and performance trends. He's used openers in elimination games, started relievers in crucial spots, and mixed and matched his pitching staff in ways that keep opposing hitters off balance. His position player management is equally impressive. Roberts has a knack for finding the right spots for role players to contribute in big moments. Remember Kike Hernandez's incredible 2021 postseason run? That didn't happen by accident. Roberts put Hernandez in positions to succeed by understanding his strengths and using him in favorable matchups. But perhaps most importantly, Roberts has created a culture where players buy into their roles, even when those roles change from series to series, or even game to game. In an era where player egos can destroy team chemistry, Roberts has built a clubhouse where everyone understands that individual success comes through team success. This is incredibly difficult to achieve with high-priced veterans who are used to being the focal point of their teams. Yet Roberts has done it consistently, creating an environment where players like Justin Turner can accept reduced roles gracefully and players like Max Muncy can handle being platooned without creating clubhouse drama. The business side of this roster management is equally impressive. Roberts has helped the organization maximize their massive payroll investment by getting production from every player on the roster. There are no wasted roster spots, no players who disappear for months at a time, no expensive veterans who become clubhouse problems. Here's something that gets completely overlooked when people evaluate Dave Roberts: his ability to develop young talent while managing a win-now roster. Most managers are either good at developing prospects or good at managing veterans. Roberts has mastered both, and he's done it simultaneously. Look at the list of players who have taken significant developmental steps under Roberts' guidance. Julio Urias went from a promising but inconsistent prospect to a Cy Young candidate. Walker Buehler developed into an ace before injuries derailed his progress. Will Smith became one of the best catchers in baseball. Gavin Lux has grown into a reliable, everyday player. This isn't coincidence. Roberts has a systematic approach to player development that maximizes each individual's potential while contributing to team success. He understands that young players need different things at different stages of their development, and he's created an environment where they can grow without the pressure destroying their confidence. The most impressive example of this is how he handled Julio Urias' development. Urias came up as a teenager with incredible stuff but inconsistent command and questions about his durability. Lesser managers might have rushed him into a starting role or buried him in the bullpen until he figured things out. Roberts took a different approach. He used Urias in multiple roles: starter, long reliever, closer, giving him experience in different situations while protecting his arm and building his confidence. The result is a pitcher who can handle any role the team needs and became one of the most reliable performers in their rotation. But it's not just about pitchers. Roberts has shown the same developmental touch with position players. Max Muncy was a career minor leaguer when the Dodgers claimed him off waivers. Under Roberts' guidance, Muncy became a consistent 30-home run threat and one of the most patient hitters in baseball. The key to Roberts' developmental success is his ability to see potential that others miss and then create situations where that potential can be realized. He doesn't just throw young players into the fire and hope they survive. He gradually increases their responsibilities while providing the support system they need to succeed. This developmental approach extends to how he handles struggling veterans as well. When established players go through rough patches, Roberts doesn't panic and bench them immediately. He works with them to identify the issues and make adjustments while maintaining their confidence and role within the team. The business impact of this developmental success cannot be overstated. By maximizing the potential of young, cost-controlled players, Roberts has helped the Dodgers maintain their competitive advantage even as their payroll has grown. Players like Urias, Smith, and Muncy provide all-star level production at a fraction of the cost of free agent alternatives. This allows the organization to spend big money on impact players like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman while still maintaining depth throughout the roster. It's a sustainable model that other high payroll teams have tried to replicate but haven't been able to execute as effectively. The ultimate test of any manager is whether they can win championships, and this is where Dave Roberts has proven his greatness beyond any doubt. But it's not just that he won World Series titles in 2020, 2024, and 2025. It's how he built and maintained a championship-caliber organization over more than a decade. Roberts understood from day one that regular season success means nothing if you can't perform in October. So he structured everything: roster construction input, player development, in-game strategy, around maximizing postseason performance. This long-term thinking is what separates great managers from good ones. His championship formula starts with creating a culture of accountability and preparation. Roberts demands that his players be ready for any situation, any role, any moment. This isn't just about physical preparation, it's about mental preparation. His players know that when October comes, they'll be asked to perform in high-pressure situations, and they're ready for it. The 2020 championship run was a perfect example of this preparation paying off. The Dodgers faced elimination multiple times during that postseason. Lesser teams would have cracked under the pressure. Roberts' team responded by playing their best baseball when it mattered most. But what made those championships special wasn't just the results. It was how Roberts managed the process. He made bold decisions that other managers wouldn't have the courage to make. He pulled starting pitchers early when his instincts told him they were losing effectiveness. He used relievers in unconventional roles when matchups favored it. He trusted bench players in crucial moments when the situation called for it. Most importantly, he never let his team get comfortable or complacent. Even when they were dominating series, Roberts kept pushing them to execute at the highest level. This relentless pursuit of excellence is what championship managers do, and it's what Roberts has brought to the Dodgers organization. The sustainability of his success is equally impressive. After winning the championship in 2020, Roberts could have relaxed and enjoyed the accomplishment. Instead, he immediately started preparing for the next season, identifying areas for improvement and pushing his organization to get better. The result has been continued excellence. The Dodgers have remained championship contenders every year since 2016, reaching the playoffs consistently and capturing 3 World Series titles. This sustained success is incredibly difficult to achieve in modern baseball, where parity and competitive balance make it hard for any team to dominate for extended periods. Roberts has done it by constantly evolving his approach while maintaining the core principles that made him successful. He's adapted to rule changes, incorporated new analytical insights, and adjusted his roster management as his personnel has changed. This flexibility and willingness to evolve is what allows great managers to sustain success over long periods. Here's something that tells you everything you need to know about Dave Roberts as a manager: the respect he commands from players, both current and former. In an era where player-manager relationships can be contentious and short-lived, Roberts has built lasting relationships based on mutual respect and trust. Listen to how players talk about Roberts, both publicly and privately. They don't just respect his tactical knowledge or his strategic decisions. They respect him as a person and as a leader. This isn't something you can fake or manufacture. It's earned through consistent behavior and genuine care for the people you're managing. Mookie Betts, one of the best players in baseball, has repeatedly praised Roberts' leadership and communication style. Freddie Freeman chose to sign with the Dodgers, partly because of his respect for Roberts as a manager. These aren't players who need to say nice things about their manager. They're superstars who could play anywhere and have chosen to play for Roberts. But it's not just the stars who respect Roberts. Role players and bench players consistently talk about how he makes them feel valued and important to the team's success. In a sport where egos can destroy team chemistry, Roberts has created an environment where everyone feels like they have a meaningful role to play. This respect extends beyond just his current players. Former Dodgers consistently speak positively about their time playing for Roberts. They talk about how he helped them develop as players and as people. They credit him with teaching them lessons that extended beyond baseball. The respect factor becomes most important during difficult moments. When teams struggle or face adversity, players can turn on their manager quickly if that respect isn't genuine. Roberts has never faced a player revolt or lost his clubhouse, even during disappointing seasons or playoff exits. This is incredibly rare in modern baseball, where the pressure to win immediately can create toxic environments. Roberts has maintained his players' respect, while also maintaining organizational and fan expectations for success. It's a delicate balance that requires exceptional leadership skills. The business impact of this respect cannot be understated. Players want to play for Roberts, which gives the Dodgers a competitive advantage in free agency and trade negotiations. Agents know their clients will be treated fairly and put in positions to succeed. This reputation helps the organization attract and retain top talent. More importantly, this respect creates a sustainable culture that can weather changes in personnel. Players come and go, but the culture Roberts has built remains consistent. New players quickly buy into the system because they see how it benefits everyone involved. So why does Dave Roberts remain underrated despite 11 years of unprecedented success? The answer reveals everything wrong with how we evaluate managerial performance in modern baseball. First, there's the payroll argument. Critics dismiss Roberts' success by pointing to the Dodgers' massive spending as if having expensive players automatically guarantees wins. This ignores the fact that plenty of high payroll teams have failed miserably under different management. The Yankees, Mets, and Angels have all spent comparable amounts with far less success. Managing expensive players is actually harder than managing cheap ones. Expensive players have bigger egos, higher expectations, and more pressure to perform. They're less willing to accept reduced roles or criticism. Roberts has turned these potential negatives into positives by creating an environment where expensive players can thrive without destroying team chemistry. Second, there's the anyone could do it fallacy. This suggests that Roberts' success is simply a product of having good players, and any competent manager would achieve similar results. This ignores the countless examples of talented teams underperforming due to poor management. Talent alone doesn't win championships. Talent properly managed and maximized wins championships. Third, there's the recency bias that focuses on individual playoff disappointments while ignoring overall body of work. Yes, the Dodgers have had some disappointing playoff exits under Roberts, but they've also had more playoff success than any other team during his tenure. The expectation that they should win the World Series every year is unrealistic and unfair. The truth is that Dave Roberts has built one of the most successful managerial careers in modern baseball history. His .621 winning percentage over 10 seasons ranks among the best of all time. His 10 consecutive division titles are unprecedented in the modern era. His ability to consistently maximize roster potential while developing young talent is unmatched. But perhaps most importantly, Roberts has proven that you can be both analytically sophisticated and player-friendly. You can use data to make better decisions while still maintaining the human relationships that are essential to team success. You can demand excellence while creating an environment where players can perform at their best. This balance is what makes Roberts special, and it's what makes him a model for how modern baseball should be managed. He's not just winning games, he's showing other organizations how to build sustainable success in an era of rapid change and increasing complexity. The fact that he's still underrated after all this success says more about our biases and expectations than it does about his actual performance. Dave Roberts isn't just a good manager who got lucky with good players. He's a great manager who has maximized every advantage while minimizing every weakness. Dave Roberts is baseball's most underrated manager because he makes the impossible look routine. He's taken the pressure cooker environment of managing the Los Angeles Dodgers and turned it into a sustainable championship operation. He's combined cutting-edge analytics with old-school leadership in ways that other managers can't replicate. His 11-year run of excellence isn't luck or just having good players. It's the result of systematic preparation, strategic brilliance, and leadership skills that command respect from everyone in his organization. He's proven that you can win consistently at the highest level while maintaining the human relationships that make teams great. The next time someone tells you that Dave Roberts is overrated or that anyone could manage the Dodgers to similar success, remind them of the numbers. Remind them of the 3 championships. Remind them of the 10 straight division titles. Remind them of the respect he commands from players and the culture he's built. Because in the end, results don't lie. And Dave Roberts' results speak for themselves. He's not just one of the best managers in baseball today. He's building a legacy that will be remembered as one of the greatest managerial careers in the sport's history. The only question is whether the rest of baseball will recognize his greatness before it's too late to appreciate what we're witnessing.